There's a huge difference between being by yourself and being lonely. My life actually has an extremely good ratio of me spending time by myself and me spending time with the people I love. And I choose the people I spend time with extremely carefully. I'm extremely careful with the time I spend with people. At the risk of sounding extremely immodest, which I think I walk a thin line on most of the time, I did realize that there is something incredible about loving yourself deeply and wholeheartedly and really enjoying your own company. I've thoroughly enjoyed my travel. I've thoroughly had a blast. Sure, it would have been nice to be with some of my friends and family members, and it would have been good to sort of spend time together. But there was also something beautiful about just being alone, because when you are alone, and no matter how much you try to set up whole ecosystem for yourself, the fact is you're completely out of your comfort zone, right? When you're alone, you realize that it's just you against the world. When you're alone, you realize that every single thing which is an adventure is a solo adventure. And when I think about the travel I've had, when I think about the trip I've had, when I look back, I've actually every single day, I've done something unique, interesting, amazing, and it's the stuff that I wanted to do. What was very interesting for me on this trip in particular was I realized that, and I'm aware of this, I think when you travel alone, the strongest relationship you're ever going to have in your life is a relationship with yourself, right? On the Be Happy project, I always talk about the fact that happiness has to eventually come from within. And I know, as poetic as that sounds, the fact is every single bout of happiness that you get from something which is external, from the people who are around you, from a situation which is around you, whether it's your job, the fact of the matter is that that's all something which you have no control over. I've had people who I've loved tremendously who walked away from my life, and they took away a lot of the happiness that I felt. I've had jobs and shows that I've done which made me extremely happy, and then they ended, but and took some of that happiness and joy away. But the one thing that has always remained with me is just me and my sense of excitability. There is a certain level of childlike wonder that I know I have. I think one of the things that traveling alone and spending time by yourself does is it makes you think about who you are. It gives you time to reflect about the things that are good in you. And it's important to recognize those because you know what you have to continue to do right. It's also important to think about some of your shortcomings, realize them, work towards them. None of us are perfect, but step one to making yourself better is to realize here's an area that I need to really work at, be better, break out of my shell. I realized in terms of comfort, I had no trouble with that. Wherever I went, I was extremely comfortable being in new environments. I'm extremely happy being with new people. And that's the thing. People is the one thing I'm so blessed with. And I realized that no matter where I go, there was no point in time where I felt alone, because while I may not have traveled with the people I knew, I made enough friends, I met enough people, I had a lot of interactions. There was not one day where I didn't talk endlessly to people or to you. I've had a beautiful journey. I've had an incredible time. It's been superb. It's been great fun. And even though I didn't want it to be, but it has been an experience for me to sort of look into myself. And it's a really good feeling when you're going back home thinking I had a lovely time. And I had a lovely time by myself. You've obviously built a good life for yourself if you do indeed love who you are. And I really, genuinely wish that that's something that you feel as well in your life when you go out and travel alone.